My name is Matthew Rummel, and I'm the director of CGT Dallas and CGT Denton, and I've spent since 2003 in the drum corps community. I started marching baritone with the Magic of Orlando, and then I moved into the drum major position, where I was the drum major 4, 5, 6, and then I aged out in the color guard at the Cavaliers. After that, I was on the admin staff of the Cavaliers and the Blue Stars, and then eventually, the last 5 years, I've been on the color guard staff at the Blue Stars. Last year was the caption supervisor for the color guard with the Blue Stars. Well, when I first started marching, I didn't really know what it was. I saw an ad for the Cavaliers on the wall of my band director's office and thought that it was our marching band because our colors were green and the Cavaliers were green. And he said that I should go check out this audition for the Magic of Orlando. I went up and auditioned on my trombone. And I ended up getting one on my audition, and they gave me a spot and said, "You'll be able to learn baritone." Great, I did. They gave me a packing list. I was super confused why the packing list was so stout for just, a couple of weekends, and found out when I got there that I was going away for the whole summer. So somehow in this whole process, I didn't know I was going away for 3 months. But I was 15. I was super young. It was probably the best thing that happened for me as a human being because I was able to find a strength inside of myself that I didn't really know existed before. I actually tried to quit twice. Magic was not great about feeding us that summer, and there was a day that we came back from rehearsal, and the food truck was shut up, and there were these tiny little brown bags next to the truck that had a sad face on it that said, "If you don't pay your dues, we can't feed you." So I called my mom and I tried to quit. She said I didn't raise a quitter, and she hung up on me. And then at the family day, she showed up with my friend's mom, and we were ready to go. I had my stuff packed. We shoved it in the trunk. My mom saw me as she came around the building, and she chucked it out onto the sidewalk, and she took off. And she called me on the way, on her way back home, and she said, "I told you I didn't raise a quitter. You're going to take it like a man and figure out how to get through the summer." And I was so angry at that point because I didn't think that I was strong enough to get through it. But her forcing me to stay ended up being the best decision that I ever made and shaped really the last 20 years of my life. And I'm super grateful for that because with that, if she had let me quit, I don't think I would be anywhere where I am today. I actually think about that quite often, especially when my students here talk about wanting to audition for drum corps. I always tell them that story about how the first 4 weeks of pre-tour, your first time, is the most difficult thing that you're ever going to experience because you don't have any idea what sits on the other side of being strong enough or good enough or being able to fit in or in a completely new environment that you don't understand. It's like you're walking into a cult almost. There are all these people that have done this before and they're so comfortable and they're so confident and you just feel wrecked all the time. But making it through that and having her force me to stay and getting through that summer, which was Magic 2003, one of the more notorious summers in terms of how students were treated that led to DCI kind of intervening and setting up some standards as to how students were treated on the road. Being able to survive that made me so much stronger in my everyday life. Moving into college and not having a lot of money and living on my own and figuring out how to work through that entire process, I learned all of those survival skills at drum corps, which I'm super grateful for. Well, I had a student just last year come to the Blue Stars because that's where I was. And she was having a little bit of a rough time here as a high school student. And then she went away for the summer, and it was not easy. She ended up in one of those really horrible drill spots where she had all of the extended step sizes, and she was always the point of a triangle, and it broke her down every single day. And then she got to the end of the summer, and I saw a completely different side of her when she came back, being able to socialize a little bit better and be more confident in who she was and what she brought to the table. She's ended up being probably one of the best captains that I've ever had because she allowed herself to be broken down and built back up, and she could see the strength where she used to only see weakness, and she could see, her way through situations of being uncomfortable. I think for me, watching her and watching the rest of the students that I've taught at the Blue Stars the last 5 years, them figuring out how to be comfortable while being uncomfortable is the thing that sets them apart from most other people their age. Not many people know how to work through being uncomfortable, but when you're in a situation like drum corps where you have no other choice, you have to figure out how to get through that. And I think looking at her specifically, how she was able to get through that and seeing how she blossomed because of that and how she's been able to approach going to college with confidence, it's really heartwarming to watch that kind of development.